All right, what's good, guys? Last time we looked at, audibles and base plays and things, but today we're really going to look at the base play because this is the most important, probably most important part of creating a scheme is picking your base play and your base formation. Now, first off, we need to start with base formation, and the key things we need to look at is, first off, the personnel. What kind of personnel are we wanting for the type of scheme we want? Depending on your scheme, you might want 5 really fast guys. You might want a bunch of big guys because you're running the ball. I mean, it really depends what you're doing, and that's all it's going to be based on. It's also going to be based on the team that you're using. So, for instance, if you're using the Raiders, Marcel Reese is a great fullback, but he can catch and he can run as well, so you may want to include him in your packages. Whereas if you're using a team with a not so great fullback, you probably won't want him in the game because he can't do much diversely besides blocking. And if you're running a lot, that might be good for your scheme. You also want to make sure you get your key guys in, and what I mean by that is if you have a 90 overall guy like at a tight end position or a wide receiver or a running back, make sure you get those guys on the field. Even if you're running like a 5 wide, make sure you get that running back out there if he can catch pretty decently, like a Darren McFadden or a Ray Rice or whoever it may be. And likewise for tight ends, you could come out in this shotgun tight, but if you're using the Saints, you're going to want to have Jimmy Graham in there because he's an elite player and he's definitely going to make the defense adjust. Likewise for when you're putting your schemes together, pay attention to these packages because you can get different guys in the different spots. For instance, if you come out as strong close and run a twin halfback, you could have like DeMarco Murray and Felix Jones in at the same time, and that'll be more devastating than to have a fullback at that spot. So that'll give you a lot more speed and diversity of things you could do, a couple more guys that can catch. Everything as far as your base formation goes has to do with your personnel. So look at all your key formations, figure out which one's going to be the best route personnel wise for you, and move from there. Figure out which guys you need to move on the depth chart, figure out which package you need to come out in, and then audible from that set into your other formations, your other key formations, your other audibles, just to see where guys line up at, just to see so you can get used to it. Are your tight ends going to be out wide? Are wide receivers going to be at fullback? Where are guys going to be? Because you need to know this, so when you're running your offense, you know what to expect. You know where guys are going to be. And then the other thing with that is, possession versus speed. Certain routes are going to favor speed wide receivers, whereas other routes are going to favor possession wide receivers. So understand which type of route you're running. For instance, this motion drag here, it favors the speed wide receiver because you get separation and you just really want a guy that could take off. So Avery's perfect, whereas if you got a pass going across the middle, you might want a bigger target like a tight end or something. So that also will impact where you put your guys in the depth chart and things like that. But that is the key there as far as your key formation is personnel. And when you audible to your other formations, where are guys at? You need to make sure you got the best possible lineup in for what you're trying to do. Now, as far as the base play goes itself, you want to have something where you have quick audibles. Generally speaking, sometimes you won't, but generally speaking, you would like to have a quick audible, maybe a halfback draw or quick pass or whatever it is. The next thing is you want to have other plays in your, key formation, your base formation that are good, that you can run as well, because one play is great, but if you got 2 plays that you can get to really fast without your opponent noticing, you're going to be set to go there because they won't know what's coming. Preferably if you got one play that attacks the sidelines, you'll have one that attacks the inside, or if you're attacking the left, you may want to attack the right or flip the play or whatever the case may be. You're generally going to want to attack different parts of the field, and that's going to make you harder to guard and a lot of things like that. Now, in the stop scheme part 2, our base play is going to be Saint spot shake, but just as easily the play could have been halfback wheel under the gun tight. It's got great personnel, and again, depending on the team, we might put a tight end out there or something like that. But as far as a base play, man, we got a lot of reads, and they all develop in order, and it's just lovely. And then the wheel is a great play as well because it's got some nice reads, and you got bench switch and things like that. So you got a lot of things we can do without really changing formations, and then once we change formations, we can just hit them up and catch them off guard again. Hope y'all enjoyed. Stay tuned for part 4.